Hi, Math 131. We are continuing exam 2. We're down to here to number 16 where it says factor by grouping. 3x squared minus 18x minus 21x plus 126. There are 4 terms there. Count them. And we usually try factor by grouping. Of course, the first thing we always try for any factoring is to factor out the greatest common factor. And indeed, each of these 4 terms share a common factor of 3. So pull that out in parentheses times parentheses x squared minus 6x minus 7x plus 42. Now, factor what's in the parenthesis by grouping. Out of the first group, we have a common factor of x. It leaves x plus minus 6. Out of the second group, we have a common factor of negative 7. It leaves x minus 6. The miracle has occurred. Factor the miracle factor out times what remains is x and then a minus 6. So our answer is 3 times x minus 6 in parentheses times x minus 7 in parentheses. Okay, now be sure you had to use the factor by grouping because that's what you were told to do there. Now we're doing number 17, find the product. We're going to distribute the multiplication. So 9x to the 6 times the first term plus 9x to the 6 times the second term plus 9x to the 6 times the last term gives us this result, and if possible, combine any like terms. Our final answer is 54x cubed plus 108x to the 9th, because you add the exponents when you multiply x to the 6th times x to the 3rd, plus 90x to the 6th. Number 18, find the requested value of the given function. F of x is 7x minus 7. G of x is negative 6x plus 5. Find f times g of negative 5. Now this little dot is not a circle. It's a dot. It's multiplication. So that means f of negative 5 times g of negative 5. But what is f of negative 5? It's 7 parentheses negative 5 minus 7 times negative 6 parentheses negative 5 plus 5. So do the multiplication first and get negative 35 minus 7, which is negative 42, times, do the multiplication first, get positive 30 plus 5 is 35. Multiply negative 42 and 35 on the side, and you'll get negative 1,470. Number 19, find the requested value. You're given g of x here, you're given f of x here, and they ask you to find f over g of 4. Well, that's equal to f of 4 over g of 4. So f of 4 on the top is 5 parentheses 4 squared minus 3 parentheses 4 minus 4. And g of 4 on the bottom is 5 times 4 plus 3. So you simplify the top, and you'll get 64. Simplify the bottom, you'll get 23. If possible, you would factor and cancel, but this time we can't, so we've already simplified. And we move along to number 20, find the product of the two binomials. Binomial means 2 terms. So if it's a binomial times a binomial, which it is, we're going to FOIL. So we've got negative 4x minus 4y times negative 5x plus 6y. First times first, outer times outer, inner times inner, last times last. Combine like terms and you'll get 20x squared minus 4xy minus 24y squared. Number 21, divide using long division. Okay, so we're going to take the numerator and put it under the division symbol and divide it by the denominator, negative 3x minus 2. So you ask yourself, what must I multiply negative 3x by in order to get a negative 6x cubed? And the answer is positive. It has to be positive. And 2 has to be multiplied by 3 to give you the 6. And x squared has to be multiplied by the x to give you x cubed. So that just takes us to negative 6x cubed. So 2x squared. Now you distribute that multiplication here and here, and you write the result here and here, here and here, and then you put parentheses around it and you subtract. It leaves positive 15x squared. Bring down the 25x, bring down the positive 20, and ask what must I multiply? negative 3x by to get 15x. The answer is negative 5x. Distribute that multiplication in parentheses and subtract, and you'll get 10. So your result is what you have on the top. Let's clean it up so we can see it. Okay, clean it up, clean it up, clean, clean, clean. Whoops. And the result is 2x squared minus 5x minus 5 plus 10, the remainder, over the divisor, negative 3x minus 2. And then finally, number 22 on this page, factor the polynomial completely. If the polynomial cannot be factored, say that it's prime. Well, I'm going to use factor by guessing. It looks pretty easy. X squared minus 2x minus 35 is x plus 5 times x minus 5. You can check that by foiling with your fingers and see that that's a good solution. Okay, that was number 22. Let's move on. Going on to number 23. Number 23. Solve the equation 7y plus 1 times 5y minus 3 equals 0. Step 1, you move everything on one side, the other side 0, which is already done. Factor the non-zero side, that's already done. Set the factors, each of the factors equal to 0. So we do that here and here, we union them together. Then you solve each of the little equations. For the left equation, you get y equals negative 1/7. For the right equation, you get y equals 3/5. And if you have time, you go back and you check and make sure your answers are good by plugging them into the original question and see that they make the equation valid. You could write your answer this way if you prefer. Question number 24 is the extra credit question worth 5 points. Solve the system of equations using the elimination method. You cannot use any other method, only the one told to use. So we have equation A and equation B. We are going to eliminate the y. We just made a decision to eliminate y. We do that by equation A minus equation B, and that gives us 4x, these guys cancel, equals negative 8. Now we're going to solve this result for x. We get x equals negative 2. Great. Now let's finish finding y. So we can do two things. We can either substitute this x equal negative 2 into equation B, or we can substitute it into equation A. Either way, it's going to give us the missing variable y. So you can examine each of those two. We got the same answer in both results, whichever one that you prefer. And the answer for y is 16. So our ordered pair solution to this problem is xy equals negative 2, comma, 16. And we're going to go on now to the last question. This is question number 25, extra credit. Solve the system of equations using substitution this time. We have equation A, we have equation B. Okay, so we're going to take equation A and solve for the easiest variable x. We get x equals 3y plus 11. Now we're going to use substitution into equation B. Write equation B, it was 4x, but don't put x, put parenthesis, minus 4y equals 12. Replace the parenthesis with this result, 3y plus 11. Now get rid of the parentheses by distributing multiplication. 12y plus 44 minus 4y equals 12. So solve for the only remaining variable, which is y. We'll combine the y's together, and we end up getting y equals negative 4. Now take that result, substitute it into equation A, which was x minus 3y equals 11, replace the y with negative 4, and solve for the only remaining variable x. Your solution is the ordered pair xy equals negative 1, comma, negative 4.